it's Chatty Abby and Jeremy. We're back again with Batman the Animated Series. What's the section called today?
So today we're just going to be talking about the episodes about Alfred and Robin.
I was a little bit disappointed on the Alfred one because I thought he'd play a bigger role, and then he kind of didn't.
Yeah, I just kind of remembered that one wrong. So in my mind, he had resisted a truth serum for a very long period of time as like a super spy, but in actuality all he did was just come up with a code that was so nonsensical that he was giving out the code and no one realized he was giving out the code, which is useful but not as impressive as I remembered it.
Because he immediately gave the code, but he did it in such a silly way that they were like, stop speaking nonsense, give us the code. But then it was the code. And he was kidnapped, or he was told, hey, come here for this, and he didn't tell anybody about it, and then he went. And I don't know. He didn't do anything really impressive through the whole thing. I kind of was like, ooh, here's Alfred's time to shine, and then he kind of didn't. It was kind of like, oh, Batman figured it out, and he saved everybody again.
I mean, it was a solid episode. It just wasn't as impressive as I thought it was.
Yeah, so I had higher expectations than were really fulfilled on that one.
My fault. So, what did you think about the Old Wounds episode?
Which one's that?
So, Old Wounds is the episode where Dick Grayson is really mad at Batman and doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. And there's a new Robin who's also fighting crime with Batman now.
Is that where they kind of go into what happened?
Yeah.
With flashbacks or something?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hate how Batgirl's drawn in that one, so I have a hard time with that because she's kind of scary looking in my opinion. But I thought they were kind of cute together. I remember them being at dinner and his graduation and, you know, all of that, and it seemed really nice. And then Batman just kept going, I'm doing this or I'm doing that, and I think it presented why Robin was upset really clearly. I liked that about it.
Yeah.
But I was sad about them. They break up. I don't think they break up in the episode, but you told me they break up, right?
Well, it's not like super clear that they break up, but he's left Gotham. She's still in Gotham fighting crime with Batman all the time, so you never see them interact with each other.
Again, yeah.
So I would assume that they broke up.
They don't have like a breakup scene, which is like with how close they were, you feel like it deserves a breakup scene, and they didn't do one. So that was a little annoying. I wish they had like actually broken them up.
Well, he does yell at her a bunch and then storm off, so.
Well, they each had like secret identities too that they then find out about in that episode. And they find out that Batman knew. So that's a little frustrating. I think it would be hard to bounce back up from a relationship for that. Except they were both doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we were dating and then all of a sudden I find out you have a secret identity and a whole thing I didn't know about, that'd be very upsetting. Like, I understand why that's upsetting. Except if I also had a secret identity, I feel like there should be more understanding.
Yeah.
But it seemed kind of like they had to pick either each other or Batman. And it seems like she picked Batman and he picked like his own life.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little sad because they seem kind of perfect for each other. So I don't know why she would pick Batman over Robin. Like, Robin was actually offering her something. So I was a little disappointed in that one too, just because I was like, oh, that's how that ended. But then, Batman has a new Robin, and then that Robin wants to know what happened, and they're just kind of trying to deal with that family drama.
Yeah.
And then also him and his girlfriend broke up, so then that makes a lot of sense why he's so angry with Batman.
Yeah.
Because he feels like it's Batman's fault. Or I guess at that point you should say Wayne's fault, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because Wayne prioritizes being Batman over everything else doesn't mean everyone should.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, even with Dick leaving or whatever, that's his name, right? It seems like they could have been long distance. They could have worked it out, but the episode wasn't really about that, but that's what I got stuck on. And I'm like, oh, but what about them? But if you're thinking about explaining Batman and Robin breaking up, it was a really good episode. I just felt bad for the other relationship and got distracted. What did you think of that episode?
Yeah, I just thought it was really interesting how they explained Robin becoming Nightwing in that one, because it happens differently in different iterations, and I thought it was very interesting that it happened because of a very big event that happened between them where Barbara almost died and he had to save her life. I think that's what he was most mad about, the fact that
Oh yeah.
he was, he made a choice to risk his life constantly because he grew up with Bruce and that was his dad, and so he kind of just walked into the life of crime fighting and it's kind of like it was all he knew, and he felt like he was like discovering, hey, there's more to life, I don't have to do this. And then he was mad that someone else was basically going into what he was leaving and almost dying from it.
Oh yeah.
Because he almost felt like he felt almost betrayed by Batman, like he had been brainwashed as a child and he was getting out of a cult, and then his girlfriend joins the cult.
That makes so much sense. That is so true. And I keep forgetting that she almost died in that episode.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem like a big deal to me in the thing, but she is falling off a building and he shows up and catches her or swings in or whatnot.
Yeah.
So that is a really big deal. And then discovering, oh, this is my girlfriend. Oh, you interrupted our date to celebrate my accomplishment of graduating to almost kill my girlfriend. Yep. I don't make the schedule, Robin. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would add, like, that would be a lot harder to get over. So, yeah. Big life decisions, taking them different directions.
Yep.
I just hope he finds somebody else nice who can understand him.
Well, I think there's the Teen Titans where he dates an alien girl named Starfire.
Do you like her?
No.
How come superheroes can't have meaningful relationships? Should be more like The Incredibles, where they get married and they're happy and they have kids and everything.
That's what Superman does.
He does?
Yeah.
He marries Lois Lane?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, that's nice.
And they have a son named Superboy. There's actually a show out where
No, Superboy's a clone.
No. There's a different Superboy. So you're talking about Connor Kent. So that's Superboy and Young Justice, who's a clone of Superman. Mm. But Jonathan Kent, who he names after his Earth dad, is a biological child between him and Lois Lane. Oh. And he goes on adventures with Bruce Wayne's son, and they have a whole comic line called the Super Sons.
That's
really
cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. Because we watched the Justice League next.
Yep.
And Superman doesn't get married in that one. Doesn't seem like can have family.
No, not in that version. But so he gets married in the comics and the Superman Rebirth comics, which are my favorite Superman comics. He also gets married and has kids in a show that recently came out called Superman and Lois.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice.
Yeah. In most versions, Lois finds out a secret identity and they get married and have kids.
See, secret identities are bad for relationships. Because the Iron Man never has a secret identity, and then he gets married and has a baby girl.
Yeah.
Who's super cute. Loves him 3000. I guess Black Widow never has a secret identity, but she never gets married. But she's too damaged. Probably.
She also can't have kids.
Well, yeah, she want to have, they want to be able to have kids, but she always ends up. Anyway, we're getting way off track. So, what's the next episode?
So, we already talked about the Alfred episode, which was The Lion and the Unicorn. We talked about Old Wounds. So, the only other episode in the section was the origin story for Robin episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
I liked it.
Any other thoughts?
It made a lot more sense how he came to be Robin.
Okay.
What do you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I already talked about it last time. I said, it's an origin story that's been done a number of times, but I just thought it was really well adapted. Like, they're talking about a current story where he's currently fighting crime with Batman as a teenager, and they come across a source that Batman immediately knows is the guy who killed Robin's parents. And so Batman's keeping him out of the case because he doesn't want any of those emotional damage thoughts brought up. And so it shows through flashbacks how he became Robin, because he's sort of processing through finding the guy that killed his parents.
I totally forgot about that. That made me really upset. I don't agree with most of Bruce's interpersonal choices. It's like, you taught him to be Robin. You taught him to fight crime because of this. And then as soon as you know, like, oh, I have a lead on the guy that killed his parents, you're like, you stay here and like leave without him. I felt like that was really unfair. I was really mad for Robin in that situation. I was like, no, he should get to go. And he shows up anyway and is really helpful, and he doesn't like lose his head about anything.
I also thought it was really interesting how helpful Robin was as like a 7-year-old without being trained. Like he's over here canvassing the neighborhood, collecting clues, saving a girl from a mugger with no training and nothing. He's just got like a sheet of paper with Tony Zuko's face on it, like, hey, have you seen my uncle? And he finds Tony Zuko. Like, I was really impressed.
Does. That was really cute. He was a really cute kid. I like that a lot. And his family looked really well adjusted and really nice. And then I was kind of almost sad that he didn't stay with the circus people, because they seemed like a really nice, kind of well-balanced family. I mean, maybe a little odd, but I mean, how much more odd than going to live with Batman?
I mean, I think the reason why they didn't want him to live with the circus people is because Tony Zuko knew where the circus people would be, because he was specifically targeting them.
He had to be hidden,
Yeah.
so that's why he had to leave. And then I think the safest place for him would have been Alfred and Batman. And I think it was really good for him, so.
Because Bruce intentionally intended it for it to be a short-term solution, like just stay with me until I catch Tony Zuko and then you can go back to the circus.
Right.
But he didn't catch Tony Zuko for like 10 years.
So then it wasn't short term.
Yeah.
It was much longer. Yeah.
And he also almost caught Tony Zuko then, but the reason why he didn't catch him is because he had to save Robin, because he had found Tony Zuko himself and Tony almost killed him, and so Batman chose saving Robin over catching Tony Zuko.
Yeah, he definitely has a head for it.
Yeah.
What you can really see in that episode. And he knew something was wrong when his parents died too, and he was kind of aware enough to be like, this isn't a good situation. That guy was threatening our boss, and now he's coming in the tent, and what's going on? But his parents were like, come on, we're on, the show must go on. And then he even saw it before it happened. He was like, oh no, and it was too late. And his parents swing on things without a net. Always use a net. I think that's important.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really that much more interesting to watch people without a net? I don't like watching things live, especially if there's like a real element of danger to them, because I'm always sure I'll be the one in the audience when it goes wrong, and I'll watch somebody die in live time, and I don't want to. I don't think that'd be good. Like that whole audience, there's kids in that audience, and his parents fell from like and died in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Ugh, not good. Not good at all. I mean, of course, Robin becomes Robin after that. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.